Hey Seekers, it's Greg. For this video, I'm going to go over the foundations of becoming a demonosopher. This was requested by a viewer, and because there's a lot to go over, I'm going to be using my note cards. So, one of the reasons, well, a few reasons why I feel like you should be listening to what I have to say, my credentials, is that I'm a former paranormal investigator, certified demonologist. I've taught foundational magic, which is the basics, and I have over 13 years of practicing different types of magic. Let's see. Pardon me while I go through this. I wrote all this down because I wanted to teach a class, and I'm just going to go over it with you. So you guys are like my guinea pigs. As you know, like if you've seen videos before this one, I don't make false promises. I don't glamorize my lifestyle. I don't try to, like, if I charge people for anything, I don't try to empty out their bank accounts for what I teach. And when people come to me with questions, like viewers, and they leave a question underneath my video, I try to answer them. I just don't deal with the extremist stuff. Even if you're for demons, if you're saying some crazy stuff on my channel, or anything too hateful, like, I'm not going to answer you. On the opposite side, if you're like one of those super Christians who wants to troll and condemn everybody, I will also ignore you. So just keep that in mind. Alright. I also have to give disclaimers. It's like, what you put into this course is what you're going to get. If you practice the magic every day, once a week, on a regular basis, something like that, you're going to get more out of it than if you only practice magic when you're in trouble, when you need something, just doing it once a month or on a whim. So, doing something here or there, if you don't get results, then you'll know why. Because you're not putting your heart and soul into it. Second, I'm not responsible for what you do with the knowledge that I give you. I feel like knowledge should be given freely to people who genuinely are looking for it. But there are a lot of people out there who misuse knowledge, and it's like a tool. You can use the tool to be constructive, or you can use the tool to be destructive, and you can misuse the tool. And that goes the same with the knowledge that I provide with this channel. Experiences will differ. Like, we all see the world from different points of view. We all have past experiences that influence the way we process things. There are going to be some similarities, but there are going to be experiences that are unique to you only. So keep that in mind. There may be some things that I repeat, that I've put in other videos, but because I want to cover everything, I'm going to go over those subjects anyway, and they may be more in depth. because of my research. So, another thing is I typically like to know a little bit about the people that view my channel, as well as the ones that I teach. I like to know about their experiences, if they've had any, after applying what I've taught. So, if you have any cool experiences afterwards, feel free to leave a little something underneath, and let me know what happened. Alright. So first of all, we're going to talk about what a demon is. We've already kind of gone through this in another video, but I'm going to cover it anyway. The contemporary definition most often is going to be an evil spirit. This may fall underneath other things that may describe demon today. It's a fallen angel, angry dead, a possessing spirit, a chaotic spirit. Some storm or elemental spirits are described as demons. Jinn have been described as demons or demonic. Some of the old gods are described as demons. And another definition for demon is any spirit vilified, mostly by the Abrahamic religions. Now, there are alternate definitions for the word demon, and some of those come from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Those definitions would be an attendant, a power, spirit in general, an intermediate between God and human, and one that has exceptional effectiveness. Now, some other alternative definitions come from the etymology dictionary, and that would be divine power, lesser god, a guiding spirit, a genius, fortune. So these definitions allude to the fact that the word demon wasn't always a derogatory term, isn't always a derogatory term. The word demon was derived from the Greek word daemon, and it was applied to supernatural powers in general. The word was interchangeable with God, according to Britannica Online. The Encyclopedia Mythica Online defines daemon as a protecting spirit, a minister that carries prayers to the gods, and gifts to humans from the gods. So we see here that even the root word of demon did not have a negative connotation. Both philosophers, Plato and Socrates, were said to have been accompanied and guided by daemons, personal daemons. Anyway, not all daemons were considered to be good. The Greeks had two classes. They had the good demons, which were the eudemons, E-U-D-A-E-M-O-N-S, eudemons. And then there were the cacodemons, which were supposed to be the evil spirits. The word daemon possibly took on a fully negative connotation when the Greek Christians used the word daemonian, which translates to God of the Heathens, sometime after the 4th century BCE. Say possibly because that's what it says in my research. Don't take that as fact. And this in turn was transferred to Old English to mean devil, fiend, or hell knight. So, this is just one example of how Christianity took something that was good and warped it into something evil. Something that should be embraced instead of feared. So, what are demons really like? Well, they vary in personality, just like you and I vary in personality, and they also have feelings. I personally have experienced demons being happy, angry, sympathetic, humorous, loving, and hateful. They have desires. They have intellectual desires because they don't know what it is to have a human experience. They're curious about humanity. They also are very intellectually inclined because they know a lot of things. And, they're willing to teach the things that they know. And sometimes some demons are sexually inclined. They are, they may make sexual jokes. They can put off a very sexual aura that may be strong. They may, you may become the target of their sexual advances at times. They desire certain foods and drinks. I have been asked to make a sandwich for a demon one time. Sometimes they desire certain foods during evocation or on altars that you may set up for them. One time, I was reading a grimoire that called for basil for a certain demon. And so I had dried basil, put it on the altar, performed the evocation, and later on the demon asked me for something fresher. They desire certain scents, which is why we use certain incense to draw certain spirits. Some grimoires will say that demons prefer certain times of day. In my practice, I haven't found out whether that is true or not, because I have invoked and evoked demons usually at night, but sometimes the ones that are said to like the night hours I've called upon during the day, and some that are said to like the day hours I've called upon during the night with no problem. Grimoires will also say that they enjoy hanging out in certain places, deserts, bathrooms, crazy stuff like that. I'm not too sure about that, because a lot of them have things to do, and maybe the only reason that they would hang out there, I don't know, maybe they take breaks, or maybe they just like the aesthetics of the place. I don't know. Let's see, they enjoy being around certain people, usually people who are cool with them. They may come to visit from time to time, and they may just shoot the shit. And some also like music. For example, King Payman. He really likes music. He likes dance. So, if you ever desire to evoke him, try using music. See what he likes. See if he likes the music that you like. So when trying to figure out what demons were really like, I didn't just want to give you my opinion. There are also other people that are associates of mine that deal with demons. So I wanted to ask them about their opinion, what the spirits that they've contacted were like. And an associate named Elizabeth said that, she deals with the demon Asmodee, and that he's fun-loving, very sexual, enjoys a good drink, and becomes very angry if he hurts his devotees. So we also see that they show a sense of loyalty. And she has been working with that particular spirit for a few years now. I think she said 5, but don't hold me to that. But it's been a significant amount of time. Demons are curious about humankind. Like I said before, this is on, why you should work with demons. Because of Christianity, a lot of people fear demons. They think that demons hate humans. They fear that all demons are tricksters. And that's just not true. They're curious about humankind, like I said. They make excellent teachers. They display loyalty. They can help you become successful. And by saying successful, a lot of people may think about fame and money, but different people's idea, there are different types of success. And just keep that in mind. There are some people who want to become proficient in magic. There are some people who want to gain, a lot of material things. There are some people who just want to be able to tolerate getting through life. So when I say successful, I'm not talking about just money or fame or recognition. They help you to become a better person. They make excellent companions. I had the pleasure of actually corresponding with VK Jehannum, and I will leave a link to his channel. Underneath, because I definitely recommend watching VK's videos. Let's see. So when VK emailed me, said that the demons helped him to develop a deeper love, increase personal strength. They taught him not to hate black people, which is definitely important during this time. They helped him to learn about his soul. They helped him to learn how to be discerning when utilizing destructive magic against somebody. They also help him cure his friends and save them from spiritual oppressions or affiliations. So far, from what we've described, you need to ask yourself, is this really the definition of evil? In my mind, I'm saying no. When you talk to people, when you talk to Christians, some of them will say, oh, hey, they may be nice to you for a little while because they're trying to trap you. But we see here that the so-called demonic spirits have consistently done things that are positive for the people who are willing to have mutually beneficial relationships with them. Next thing we want to cover is how demons communicate. with us. They can speak telepathically to us. We may have thoughts pop up in our head that we know aren't ours, ideas, and this is how they communicate with us. They can also manipulate our auditory receptors. We can start hearing voices or hearing certain things that other people may not. They can change our emotions. They can show us visions during meditation, and they can also manipulate our dreams. There are some that say that they can manipulate things physically, like writing notes or other ways. I haven't really seen too much of the physical manipulation part. I feel like that's very rare, but the other methods that they utilize to communicate, I have experienced personally. So we need to start talking about the aspects of a demonosopher. What does it take to become a demonosopher? What would an experienced demonosopher look like, or just be like? Because a demonosopher can be literally anybody. First of all, to become a demonosopher, you are not required to sell your soul. Like, I've never had any demon ask for my soul. That doesn't seem to be the currency from where they come, and they're not really worried about that. You do not need to be a Satanist or a Luciferian. Does it help? Maybe. But that's only because the mindset of a Satanist or Luciferian is different from the mindset of somebody who is coming from a Christian background, or simply believing that all demons are evil due to what they see in the media and read in books. Demons don't care about what religion you are. You can be Buddhist, you can be Christian, you can be Muslim. As long as you respect them and you come at them from a peaceful standpoint, you're likely to have a positive experience with them. A demonosopher must be prepared to walk their path alone. And by saying that, I'm not saying that you can't teach somebody what you learn. Like, they can follow in your footsteps, they can learn from you, but many times you will be ostracized. In a country that is predominantly Christian, such as the U.S., or at least appears to be predominantly Christian, you will have a lot of people who fear you and persecute you. You will also be persecuted by other practitioners of so-called pagan or heathen belief systems, because their belief systems have been tainted with that negative idea of what demons are. Potential lovers will fear you. And I've experienced this where, when you get close to a person, you tell them not the details of what you do, but they know in general what you do. And because they don't understand that, be they a mundane person or another practitioner, they may show fear. Many times, working as a demonosopher, you will feel emotionally and spiritually alone. And even if you know other people who deal with demons, it may be in a different way. And I say this because, for example, being a demonosopher is very different from being a demonologer. Demonosopher seeks to work hand in hand with spirits, for a mutually beneficial relationship. They don't worship demons. They kind of are on equal par. Different, but equal. Demonologer worships demons and goes about their practice in a totally different way. And even though they may both agree that demons are not evil and their force for good, and that, you know, they should establish relationships with them, those relationships are going to be entirely different because of how, you know, the point of view and the goals that they have pertaining to contacting demons. A good demonosopher should know themselves mentally and emotionally. You should know your baseline, because if you don't, you're not going to know when you're being communicated with and when you're just having like random thoughts that are yours pop up in your head. And emotionally, because the spirits can change how you feel, you need to be able to know how you are emotionally most of the time, so that when they do make those changes, you could recognize where those changes are coming from. You should be sound of mind. Demonosophy is mentally stressful and can lead to insanity. People who have mental disorders, they can be practitioners, but it's always good to make sure that you are stable. If you have to take medication, take medication. If you need therapy, whatever you need to, you know, just be mentally stable. Do that before practicing magic, because if you're prone to hallucinations, you're not going to know what is a real message from a spirit and what is just a chemical imbalance in your brain. And you need to be able to separate, you know, things that are coming from you from things that are coming from another source. And that's the main reason why you need to be sound of mind. But there are also people who become delusional. You know, they have delusions of grandeur. They feel like they're powerful when they're not. They feel like they receive certain information when they really didn't. So you have to make sure, if you want to be a genuine demonosopher, you have to be sure that you are okay up here before you start. So, what are the steps that you have to take in order to become a demonosopher? One of the most important things is to learn patience. Patience, because magic doesn't always take the most efficient route or the fastest route. So, you know, there are a lot of grimoires that say, you know, once you do a spell, make a petition of a spirit, forget about it. Because if your mind is constantly on it, you're going to be thinking about that, and you're not going to be going about your day and possibly looking for opportunities to make sure that magic happens. You're not going to be able to see when that magic happens if you're preoccupied with, you know, your instant gratification. Learn meditation. Meditation helps us to not only clear our thoughts that are negative and distractive, so that we can go fully focused with our magic, but it also helps to fine-tune our senses. we become more aware of the world around us. And when we become more aware of the world around us, we become more aware of how the magic is working for us. Another thing that a demonosopher has to learn to do is focus. So many people these days are just attention deficit, constantly on their phone, bouncing from one thing to another. In this practice, you can't do that. You need to set your goal, and you need to go for your goal. And in some ways, you need to be single-minded about getting what you want. Be willing to adjust your beliefs. This is one of the very most important things that you need to do as a demonosopher, because just when you think you've learned a lot and that you've grown spiritually, a spirit may come through and just blow your mind with some new information. You can't get that big ego just because you know a lot, because you don't know everything. And so be willing to adjust. Once you learn something, that doesn't mean that there isn't something out there that is more efficient, or the information can be updated. Let's put it that way. So allow for that. Learn protection magic. A lot of people who they think that if they get in good with a demon or two, like, there is no danger to them. But the truth is that there are still dangers. There are spiritual parasites out there that want to leech off of anybody that shows any amount of power. And these beings can't be reasoned with. They're kind of like animals, just like regular leeches. You can't reason with a leech. It just uses its instinct to survive. And so you just have to protect yourself. Another reason is that not all demons will like you. In my experiences, most of the ones that, if they don't want to deal with you, they won't bother with you. They'll just go away. But there may be some that are jokesters or tricksters, and you may not want to deal with them. So you may want to take steps to keep them away. Also, if anybody was to learn about what you do, there are some people who might want to curse you or might want to use magic against you because they feel like you're the bad guy and you need to stop what you're doing. So learn protection magic. Protect yourself from both the spiritual dangers as well as the human dangers. Be prepared to explain humanity. Like I said before, demons are very curious about humans because they do not know about the human experience. So they will ask you questions. And just be prepared to give a somewhat educated, as much as possible, a somewhat educated answer about why humans do certain things. Learn visualization techniques. This is very important because when demons present themselves, they use what you have in your imagination in order to form an image of what they look like, what we can process. Visualization is a foundational step to practicing magic. but it's also another way of being able to communicate with demons and understand their natures. So not only do you want to practice visualization, but you also want to do whatever you can to expand your imagination and add to the bag of goodies that demons can use in order to paint pictures of themselves and what they quote unquote look like. You have to be honest with yourself and others. I think this is another very important aspect of a demonosopher. One, when you're dealing with demons, they are going to give you the hard lessons. Also, I mean, it's not always fun. You know, sometimes you have to face certain truths, and sometimes they're going to ask you about things that they know about you, and it's going to be difficult to deal with. So you have to be willing to face the truth. Also, be truthful with others. When you are truthful with others, you may learn things that other people have learned, or find people who have experience similar to yours. So you can't be afraid to tell people what you've experienced if they're open to listening to what you have to say. But you also want to be genuine, because people who have been in touch with demons will call you on your BS if you lie to them. If you are trying to utilize your magic in order to make money, or to teach people, if you are lying to people, you make other practitioners look bad. The genuine ones, they come upon people who are suspicious, because there are a lot of scammers out there. So, I mean, do the whole community a favor and just be honest about what you do. If you don't want to tell somebody the truth, you don't have to tell them anything at all. But don't lie to them about your experiences. Don't lie to them about the magical system. All branches of magic deserve to have their legacy represented as purely as possible. So don't taint that legacy. Learn to research. This is another, they're all important, but researching is very good for you, because what you can do is you find what is consistent. And feel free to use the internet, because it's good for more than porn and social media. You can come upon blogs or vlogs, whatever, of people who have conjured up certain spirits, and by reading those, you find the consistent qualities in those spirits, so that when you have an experience with said spirit, you will know that it is that spirit, and you will know that your experience is also genuine. For people who become more proficient in the area of demonosophy, such as myself, sometimes I like to evoke a spirit and deal with it, and then afterwards look up other people's experiences to see if it was similar to mine. And that way I know that my experiences were not influenced by anything that I read or saw. That is also another way, but I don't recommend that for people who are new to the system. You have to be prepared to meet new spirits. You have a reputation among the spirit realm, and when you start having good relationships with certain spirits, They talk to others, and others will come and see who you are. I've been interrupted in my sleep many times, just having random demons come and visit me, and they either shoot the shit with me, or they ask me for things, or they want to know. They ask me questions. Practice evocation of demons. I say this because without practice, your knowledge is basically nothing. And you can't be sure that the knowledge you receive is true until you practice it and it becomes your truth. Start with a well-known human-friendly demon if you're just starting on this path using this system. I say that because the well-known human-friendly demons are more forgiving than unknown entities. And so, like, you may screw up here and there, but they'll forgive you. Have a clear purpose when evoking a demon. I've already stated this. Just like your time is precious, so is theirs. So don't sit there and waste their time. Have in mind what you want to ask of the demon. When the demon arrives, you ask them for whatever you want, and then you let them go in order to go about and do what they need to do in order to help you. Simple as that. Show no fear. If you show fear, whether or not that demon is human friendly, sometimes they do tend to be a little bit impish, and they will pick on you. And in a lot of cases, it's just in good fun, because I have been led on adventures, and those adventures were crazy, but I came out unscathed, and I learned a lesson from them. So, even when you are vulnerable, sometimes it is good to be that way, because you learn something through it and you become stronger. And then when you evoke another spirit, you no longer have that weakness. This is also another reason why it is good to deal with, starting out, deal with more human-friendly spirits. Once you get proficient at evoking a spirit, and by evocation I mean like bringing them to the physical plane outside, I recommend trying to invoke those spirits that you develop a relationship with and learn to trust. One of the reasons why you would want to invoke said spirits is because they may have personality qualities that you may desire, and when you spend enough time with the spirit, and if you have that spirit inside of you, not only do you sometimes gain their knowledge, but you also gain their personality qualities, and those can be used to correct things that you don't like within yourself, or just augment the person that you already are. So, with that said, I'm going to end this lesson on demonosophy. There's so much more to learn. It's not something that you can cover in one video. It's not something that you can cover in one or two sittings. And everybody is going to approach things differently, because everybody learns differently. Everybody is attracted to different spirits. So there's no real wrong way to do this, but always be sure to be cautious, to be knowledgeable about what you do through research, and if you're just beginning, if you get your hands on a grimoire that tells you how to evoke or invoke a demon, be sure to initially follow those instructions to the letter, because if you don't, you may put yourself in danger. But when you become more experienced, then you can allow yourself to kind of experiment more and kind of go with your own flow and make your own evocation or invocation spells in order to meet spirits that you're good with. So in conclusion, I hope that helps a lot of my audience that were, you guys are probably wondering, when is he going to actually teach demonosophy? Well, the thing is, you would learn a lot through the books that I've recommended, which is one of the reasons why I tried to whet your appetite for the books I have reviewed. These are some of the books that I have learned my craft from. So, with all that said, I hope that you progress down your path. I wish you well. I hope you learn something, and feel free to hit me up and ask questions if you have any questions about anything that I've said, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. One more thing I want to add is to be sure to visit VK Jehannum's YouTube channel. I'm subscribed to it. He is a person that I respect as a practitioner, and I'm going to leave the link to his channel in my video description. So be sure to click on that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.